Hello, I'm Margaret Iacono, Assistant Curator at the Frick Collection. Today we are in the Oval Room of the Frick, visiting some paintings that are on loan to us from the Norton Simon Museum of Art in Pasadena. Today we're going to begin by looking at this wonderful painting of a dog called the Aldrovandi Dog. The painting is done by Guercino, an Italian artist, and dated about 1625. Now, to begin, we are looking at a mastiff, and mastiffs have traditionally been associated with men of power and strength. In fact, Marco Polo tells us that Kublai Khan had about 10,000 dogs said to be the size of monkeys and thought to be mastiffs. This particular dog is an older dog, thought to be between 10 and 12 years old, and we look at the muzzle above his mouth where he has some white hair, and this gives us a sign of his age. We can also see on his cheeks that he has some scars, so he's apparently had his share of battles. And we notice as well that his ears have been cropped, and this is the fashionable custom in Europe in the 17th century. Now, until 1957, it was thought that this painting was done by Titian. And at that time, this painting was to be sent to Dublin for exhibition, and Sir Denis Mann, an eminent Italian painting scholar, recognized that the work was actually a painting by Guercino. Further, he was able to untangle the mystery of the coat of arms that sit on the dog's collar. And he realized that the coat of arms indicated that the dog belonged to the Aldrovandi family of Bologna, a noted, old, wealthy family of Bologna. And finally, he was able to put all of the pieces together and realized that the dog belonged to none other than Count Filippo Maria Aldrovandi, a very good friend of Guercino's. As a matter of fact, the artist Guercino lived in the Aldrovandi Bolognese palace for about 2 years between 1642 and 1644. So most likely, he was quite familiar with the subject of this painting, which is unusual because Guercino normally painted religious works, so he was not considered an animal painter, so this was stepping somewhat outside of his normal specialty. I should say too, though, that Guercino also created a painting of an Aldrovandi horse, a special horse. The painting is no longer extant. However, there is a drawing in Windsor Castle of this wonderful horse. We think that most likely this wonderful dog hung in La Giovannina in Cento, a villa that was owned by the Aldrovandi family. And in fact, that may be the landscape setting that we see behind us. It's very possible. Also, though, that this may have been invented, a capriccio, an invented landscape. Because the landscape has changed so much from the 1620s, it's difficult, though, to actually tell where this was situated. In any case, the dog stands on a balustrade, and he stands next to this wonderful red marble column, which really situates him in our space. And we speculate that the dog was actually installed high on the wall and would have towered down at his visitors. Old as he is still standing elegantly and with a great show of strength against the background, clearly able to still guard his lands. In any case, despite the fact that we don't know his name, Norton Simon was apparently quite fond of this dog. He purchased the painting in 1980, and he considered buying it in conjunction with the J. Paul Getty Museum before choosing to buy it on his own. 2 years later, he decided to sell the painting back to the Zurich dealers from whom he had purchased it. 2 years after that, though, he decided to repurchase the painting in 1984. He spent about $600,000 on this purchase, which was about half the price that he paid initially. Always the clever businessman, Norton Simon was able to get this wonderful painting at quite a great price. If you'd like to learn any more about this painting, please consult our catalog, which is available on our website at www.frick.org.